Hey up Internet, and welcome back to On the Sofa Live. If you're new, do subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Okay, quite a lot to get through tonight, so let's crack on, shall we? What have we got first? Hang on. Yes, okay, yes. No, not that one, at least not yet. That's the wrong one. Let's try that again, shall we? There we go. This story is from Novara Media by Stephen Methven. Keir Starmer was a waste of a prime minister. Hasta la vista, baby. Today, we say hasta la vista, baby, to Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Bringing his summer holiday forward, Starmer resigned this morning. Well, not exactly this morning, but you know what I mean. The catalyst? Andy Burnham's unassailable victory in the Makerfield by-election last week. Labour's future, if it isn't. I'll start that sentence again. Labour's future, if it even has one, will bounce back into Parliament this afternoon, where it won't be long before a shadow court forms with Labour MPs flocking around Burnham on the hunt for big jobs. Announcing a leadership competition outside Downing Street this morning, Starmer favoured a long goodbye over a swift exit, with a new leader in place only by the end of the summer. An emotional Starmer's voice broke at the end of his speech as he thanked his wife and children. What I want to know is, where were the tears for the children of Gaza? Where were the tears for the thousands of Palestinians killed in Gaza during this Holocaust, during this genocide? Where were the tears for them? These are just crocodile tears, in my opinion. And it's giving Theresa May. I don't feel sorry for him one iota. I don't feel sorry for him at all. I don't think anyone should. The article goes on. Very likely, those will be the only tears shed today. According to the Financial Times, the Prime Minister spent an agonising 72 hours consulting colleagues, his family and friends about how to construct an orderly exit. Ministers, including Yvette Cooper, Shabana Mahmood, and Ed Miliband, all urged him to set a date for his leaving due ASAP. Others gave him until Tuesday, when the cabinet meets. If he'd dithered about going, the Times reported, there would have been resignations. Politics UK reported there'd also been some sulking, with a Labour source apparently saying this: he gave everything to Labour, including sacrificing much of his children's teenage years to help make the party electable. He feels deeply betrayed, especially by those he believed were loyal to him. The karma of it all. Perhaps Jeremy Corbyn will be on hand to help him through the agony of a knife in the back. Starmer's resignation speech leaned heavily into lofty themes: fairness, respect, the country I love. Unsurprising, a kind of grand moral superiority has been a persistent feature of the son of a toolmaker's brand, one not, it must be said, much reflected in his actions. But it's those actions, rather than the high-flatulent language that serves to cloud them, that will be his lasting legacy. And what a legacy it is! Yes, there have been some wins: renters' rights, falling NHS waiting lists, and better protection for workers, but mostly it's been L's. At its heart is Gaza, where the most brazen war crimes and crimes against humanity have been carried out by Israel for nearly 3 years. While leader of the opposition, our human rights lawyer-in-chief, failed to condemn Israel's actions or even call for a ceasefire in the months after October the 7th, some 23,000 members left the party, citing anger over green policy reversals too. When he approved of Israel's cutting off of water and electricity to a trapped civilian population of 2 million people in the enclave, councillors quit en masse. That hurt Labour in the 2024 general election, as pro-Gaza independents took seats from his allies. And even in power, his alienated hundreds of thousands of voters by persistently budging the dial as little as humanly possible on our relationship with Israel. From continuing RAF spy flights over Gaza to welcoming Israel's President Isaac Herzog to Downing Street last year, Starmer has consistently put two fingers up to members horrified by genocide. Guess what? That's most of them. Destroying the Labour Party and the values that draw people to it has often appeared to be Starmer's real project. Impoverished children, let them go hungry. Poor pensioners, let them freeze. Those with disabilities, let's go full Dickens. All were U-turned or tamed, but the original intentions behind them won't be forgotten. And that's right, isn't it? He did all that shit. He may have U-turned on some of it, but he still wanted to do it. And he only watered down the rest. And that is what has made him one of the most hated prime ministers for a long time. He's hated by the right and the left. He had to leave, really, let's face it. Much of that self-harm was inflicted in the name of economic stability, but the economic stability for the Starmer government has involved both an anxious fixation on the status quo and an eye to be in front of the line for scraps falling from the American table. It was that dependence that led to the move that sealed his fate. The appointment of Jeffrey Epstein's best pal, Peter Mandelson, as British ambassador to the US, PT, didn't last long. Neither did Starmer. The fact is, Keir Starmer was never the politician to lead the country out of the vandalism that was the 14 years of Tory austerity, a phenomenon he declared was over in his speech. When he came to power, it wasn't on the back of a vision for how things could be different, presumably because Starmer and those behind him didn't see the necessity. Instead, he defined himself against the lowest of bars, not being Liz Truss. Financial responsibility, though, has meant political dereliction. It's been on Starmer's watch that Reform UK has surged in the polls. At a time when political vision has mattered more than ever, the meaning of Starmerism, if there even is such a thing, has been out of focus, and that insecurity has manifested in other dangerous ways. How else to explain the government's mad attachment to authoritarian projects like abolishing many jury trials and wielding terrorism law to arrest thousands of pensioners for holding signs? Andy Burnham went to Parliament with some advantages. He has no big shoes to fill, but the country will expect to see, and pretty swiftly too, a new leader setting significant space between his future and Starmer's past. Not easy when the Parliamentary Labour Party is so talentless that even at the end a dimming Keir will still appear its only star, and made much harder when the Labour backbenches are stacked with Starmer drone MPs selected in the former Prime Minister's image. Waste is the word that best describes Starmer's legacy of opportunity, of energy, of hope. There won't be many tears for him, nor down the road for Burnham either, unless he learns the lesson of the last 2 years. The problem is, I don't think Andy Burnham will learn the lesson of the last 2 years. I think he's just Keir Starmer with a northern accent, but I'm going to be talking more about him later. For more of Keir Starmer's legacy, let's see what Helena from No Justice MTG had to say. She said this: Keir Starmer's legacy: slashed disability welfare, armed genocide, arrested pensioners for protesting said genocide, allowed Trump our bases to bomb Iran, drove trans kids to suicide, diminishing Actually, I'll start the whole segment again. This is what Helena from No Justice MTG had to say. Keir Starmer's legacy: slashed disability welfare, armed a genocide, arrested pensioners for protesting said genocide, allowed Trump our bases to bomb Iran, drove trans kids to suicide, diminishing rights to trial by jury, appointed a convicted pedo's best pal as US ambassador, ripped up ILR rules, lowest polling for Labour in recorded history. And she's absolutely right. That will be Keir Starmer's legacy. I mean, yes, he's done a few good things, but that's what he'll be remembered for. He'll be remembered for all of the bad things that she listed. Because all the good things, all the tinkering around the edges that is done, will be swallowed up by all of this stuff, all of the bad stuff that she's listed there, especially by the genocide enabling. After all, Tony Blair did some good things too when he was in office, but these days hardly anyone remembers the good things that he did. They only remember Iraq and what after all, Tony Blair did some good things when he was in office, but all people remember him for these days is Iraq and everything that happened since then. Oh, hang on, I need to word this a bit differently. After all, Tony Blair did some good things when he was in office, but all people will remember him for will be Iraq. Going to war with Iraq on the false premise that they had weapons of mass destruction and the dodgy dossier. That's what he's remembered for these days. And the same thing will happen to Keir Starmer. No one will remember the few good things that he did in office. They'll mostly remember the genocide enabling. Danny fucking Price said this: Keir Starmer has today announced his resignation. The Prime Minister plans to leave 10 Downing Street by the end of summer recess. Although there will be a leadership contest nobody gives a shit about, Although there will be a leadership contest, nobody gives a shit about West Streeting. Former Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham is set to succeed Keir Starmer and become the next Prime Minister of the UK. Keir Starmer was essentially pushed out of his position by his own party due to the majority of the public openly expressing that the Labour Party had become unelectable under his leadership. Keir Starmer went back on the majority of the pledges he made in his manifesto on the lead up to the 2024 general election. The then Labour leader took photo opportunities with WASPy women and the trans community while promising to remove sleaze from government. But the reality was, he basically told WASPy women to go fuck themselves, he threw the trans community under the bus, and he gave one of the government's most important roles to a man who was openly friends with the world's most prolific paedophile. When it comes to immigration and stopping the boats or smashing the GANs, Keir Starmer refused to address the elephant in the room and acknowledged that Brexit meant that the UK also left the EU's Dublin III system, which directly contributed to an incredible rise in small boat crossings. Instead, Keir Starmer disregarded the left and attempted to appeal to the bigots and the patriots that had been indoctrinated by Nigel Farage, the very architect of Brexit, and introduced dogshit policy while scapegoating some of the most vulnerable people in the world. And the Gammons still fucking hated him. Keir Starmer also repeatedly chose Benjamin Netanyahu and the State of Israel over his own citizens, and basically laughed in the face of the Palestinian people, the International Criminal Court, and international law. Keir Starmer, who once condemned Israel, became a genocide enabler and chose to go even further than the Tories did when it comes to free speech and the right to protest. Then, in May this year, the public came out to express their disdain for Keir Starmer's leadership by forcing him to oversee the Labour Party's worst by-election on record. So, having gone against many of his manifesto promises, having shat on those he once supported, having abandoned the Labour left, having gone against the will of the people, and having made a mockery of his status as a human rights barrister, Keir Starmer's downfall was inevitable. I hear there's a vacancy with Keir Starmer's name on it at a really nice retirement home. In the fucking Hague. Anyway, I guess we should prepare ourselves for this guy to lead the country.
Of the Labour Party would be to Israel, to show that message from the very start. As leader of the Labour Party, I would make it my business to put those relationships right. And as a start of a 10, I can say tonight that the first foreign visit I would do as leader of the Labour Party would be to Israel, to show that message from the very start.
Yes, exactly. God forbid we get a Prime Minister who has the interests of the majority of the UK at heart. Yeah. And he goes on to say, 7 Prime Ministers in 10 years. That is fucking insane. The man who promised an end to the chaos in Westminster has once again ditched yet another pledge by adding to the revolving door of number 10. Danny fucking Price's analysis is spot on, as always. And I just want to share with you guys something that Jeremy Corbyn said in response to Keir Starmer's farewell speech.
"6 years ago, I inherited a Labour Party that was politically, financially, and morally bankrupt."
I was extremely angry about it. I was proud to be elected and to lead the Labour Party, elected twice to lead it, proud of the policies we developed, all of which were endorsed by Keir Starmer. And when I stepped down from leader of the Labour Party, the party had funds, had 600,000 members, and it had policies that were actually individually very popular across the country about social redistribution. So on the idea it's morally bankrupt is a really disgraceful comment to make.
Any message to him as he leaves?
Think very hard of the decisions you've made and the people that you've allowed to direct those decisions. The world is a dangerous place. I get that. I absolutely get that. Instead of spending more and more on arms, let's put more and more effort into trying to bring about diplomacy and peace.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's disgraceful of Keir Starmer to start his farewell speech by saying that he inherited a Labour Party that had become morally bankrupt. That's a disgraceful thing to say, in my opinion. If anyone's morally bankrupt, it's him, the genocide enabler, the person who has been providing arms to Israel, the person who has been training IDF soldiers on British soil, the person who has allowed RAF planes to go on spying missions over Gaza from RAF Akrotiri. He's the one who is morally bankrupt, in my opinion, and that will be Starmer's legacy, a morally bankrupt genocide enabler. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, I think we can move on now. I think I've been talking about Keir Starmer's farewell for long enough. Let's move on to the next segment. Andy Burnham. I'm sorry if you guys can hear what's going on outside, but I need the window open because I'm melting as it is. It's terrible, isn't it, this heat wave? First, we're gonna hear what Zach Polanski has to say about Andy Burnham. This article is from The Canary by Willem Moore. Polanski calls out Burnham's more of the same migration plan. According to The Times, Andy Burnham is going to keep Shabana Mahmood as the Home Secretary if he becomes Prime Minister. Given that this would be the most more of the same possible, it's understandable Zach Polanski has said the following. The architect of Labour's cruel plans on settled status and persecution of free speech and protest stays in place. More of the same. Only the Greens can take on failing Labour in Greater Manchester. Polanski versus Burnham. According to the Times, Burnham has not handed out any formal offers of future cabinet jobs, and his team has been clear that no deals will be struck, pointing to Burnham's criticism of Westminster horse trading. However, he is understood to be planning to offer Mahmood to stay as Home Secretary in order to maintain stability in a cabinet post that will be crucial to Labour's chances of beating Reform UK at the next election. So basically, Burnham hasn't learnt anything from Starmer. He's just a continuity Prime Minister, or rather he's going to be. He's not quite Prime Minister yet, but he's going to be. He's going to be a continuity Prime Minister. He's going to be more the same from Burnham. Zach Polanski is absolutely correct on that one. And in my opinion, I've said this before and I'll say it again, Andy Burnham is nothing more than Keir Starmer with a northern accent. This is classic Burnham, of course. Complain about something with one breath and propose it with the next. The argument for keeping Mahmood in place is that her hardline stance will help them win back Reform voters. The problem with this argument is that the strategy has already failed. Matching Reform's rhetoric tells the public that Farage was ahead of the curve, and if the man is such a political visionary, why not back him to form a government? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that shows me more than ever that Burnham has not learnt a thing from Starmer, but from the mistakes of Starmer, because that's what Starmer did when he was Prime Minister. He copied Reform's rhetoric. He copied the rhetoric of Farage. And if you do that, if you pander to Farage, if you pander to Reform and Reform voters, all you do is legitimise their policies. And why vote for Timu Farage when you can vote for the real thing? It doesn't make any sense to try to win back Reform voters, because they're just going to vote Reform no matter what you do. They're not going to vote for Reform light when they can vote for full fat Reform. It makes no sense to try to pander to them. Polanski is spot on to call these things out. Anyway, and we've covered them ourselves. On the issue of settled status, Squawk Box wrote for the Canary, Mahmood's planned changes include removing the current 5-year leave to remain for refugees. She also wants to force a review of status every 30 months. At the same time, she intends to increase the length of residency required to be able to apply for settled status from 5 years to 10. She also plans to remove financial support for refugees. However, she still does not guarantee them the right to work. Burnham himself criticised Mahmood's indefinite leave plans, by the way. Burnham himself criticised Mahmood's indefinite leave plans, by the way. saying it would leave people in a sense of limbo and unable to integrate. Burnham would later drop his opposition, and this is why we've been calling him Andy U-Turnham, because the man only seems to voice opinions to give himself something to flip-flop on later. Just like Keir Starmer, exactly like Keir Starmer. Labour authoritarianism. On Mahmoud's war on free speech and protest, we wrote the following about the National Security State Threats Bill. The bill would amend the National Security Act 2023 to introduce a power for the Home Secretary to designate bodies involved in foreign power threat activity by regulation if they believe it is necessary for the safety or interests of the UK. The worry is that the government will use the new powers to clamp down on protests against our foreign misadventures. In other words, the UK will continue to support invasions and genocides, and if you object, the state will deem you to be in cahoots with a foreign threat. Mr. Indecision. So yeah, people are right to be worried about all this. The one silver lining is that there's every chance Burnham will back away from this stuff when the public turns against him. The man needs to be liked after all, and the public will not like what Mahmoud has planned for us all. So in my opinion, Andy Burnham is nothing more than Keir Starmer with a northern accent. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And there's more to be said about Andy Burnham. This is again from the Canary. Burnham appoints ex-Labour Friends of Israel chair as Chief of Staff by Squawk Box. Andy Burnham, the new Makerfield MP, and almost certainly the UK's next Prime Minister, has appointed James Purnell as his Chief of Staff. Purnell was the chairperson and parliamentary lobby group Labour Friends of Israel for 2 years. The former MP was also DWP Secretary under Tony Blair and has been described as the architect of Labour's discriminatory contributory principle on benefits. He has argued against vital benefits such as the winter fuel allowance and free bus passes, dismissing them as freebies, and is linked to right-wing Blue Labour. What a wonderful guy. What a great guy. He sounds terrific. Unbelievable. His appointment is worrying for opponents of genocide and for anyone who is less well off and/or vulnerable. Purnell backed right-winger David Miliband in the 2010 Labour leadership election, then became a BBC director under the Tories. He now runs corporate political lobbying firm Flint Global. Burnham faces circling sharks. The UK, excuse me. Burnham faces circling sharks. The UK-Israel lobby has been circling even tighter around Burnham in the run-up to his MacLeod bid, and has since made clear it expects his compliance. LFI, a nakedly pro-genocide group that has blamed Palestinians for their own murder, announced that it welcomed his win and looked forward to working with him. And there's a tweet from Labour Friends of Israel here. Congratulations to Andy Burnham on his victory in the MacLeod by-election. We look forward to working with you as you return to the Commons and wish you well as the new Labour MP for MacLeod. All of this was already deeply worrying for those who want an end to Britain's collaboration in Israel's genocide, apartheid, and regional wars, and Starmer's war on anti-genocide speech. But Burnham appointing Purnell appears to signal that he has no intention of departing from his predecessor's push to authoritarianism to protect Israel or his war on the UK's vulnerable. This is from Minute Press News. New UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham is a passionate supporter of genocide. I think they're jumping the gun a bit. He's not the Prime Minister yet, but I think it's inevitable that he will become the new Prime Minister. But we'll see. Andy Burnham stated that Israel will be the first place he would visit as new leader. Andy Burnham joined pressure group Labour Friends of Israel in 2015 and has publicly supported Zionism ever since. Burnham describes Israel as a democracy with a long history of protecting minorities and advancing civil rights. Burnham opposes the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement as a spiteful and vindictive campaign. He has refused to stand up for Palestinians and rejected the idea that Israel's committed a genocide. And they go on to say, Andy Burnham, the man widely expected to become Britain's 7th Prime Minister in a decade, is a passionate supporter of Israeli Zionism. In 2015, he joined Labour Friends of Israel, a Tel Aviv-linked group within the heart of the party, dedicated to driving through Israel's agenda in London. He also stated that the first place he would visit as Labour leader would be Israel. He has strongly condemned the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement, labelling it spiteful, describes Israel as a democracy and refuses to call what it is doing in Palestine, Lebanon, and beyond a genocide. So there you have it. The genocide enabling that we've had from Keir Starmer will just continue under Andy Burnham. Nothing's going to change. It's going to be more of the same with Andy Burnham. More genocide enabling and more supporting of Israel. So I don't expect anything much to change when Andy Burnham becomes Prime Minister, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Whew. God, it's hot. Gordon Bennett. And we've got Will with us. Hello. Hello, Will. Welcome. Okay, next segment. Hang on. Hang on, we're having technical difficulties. Please bear with me. Right. Okay, let's have a look here. Let's have a look at my list. Yes, we've done that one. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay. Good. Let's do this one next. This story is from the Mirror. Donald Trump perplexes internet with photo of mystery woman and strange great daughter caption. Donald Trump has left the internet baffled after he posted a photo of a mystery woman on his Truth Social account with the caption that simply states, "Great Daughter," by Jeremiah Hassell, senior news reporter, and Rihanna Smith, US reporter. And there's the photo in question. "Great daughter, my honor," Trump captioned the post. President Donald Trump puzzled the internet on Saturday night after sharing an image of an unidentified woman with the caption reading, "Great Daughter." "Great daughter, my honor, President DJT," he wrote alongside a dated photograph of a middle-aged or older blonde woman wearing a professional all-black ensemble with stylish boots. Gold bracelets decorate her right hand. The woman smiles towards the camera, caught mid-phone conversation. She presses an older-style phone against her ear while turning her head. The red sofa where she's seated is among several pieces of furniture in a living room that includes a rocking chair, multiple tables, and artificial plants. This comes as Trump recently left onlookers horrified about his health, as his head jolted back in distress and his eyes rolled back. Her other hand grips a mug with steam rising from a hot drink. Trump offered no details about who the woman in the photograph is or what he intended by the "Great Daughter" caption. The woman pictured is obviously not Trump's daughters, Ivanka or Tiffany, nor his former wife, Maria Maples. Sharing a screenshot of the Puzzling Truth social post, journalist Aaron Ruper asked, "Who is this?" Yeah, good question. I think I'd like to know, and I think a lot of people would like to know the answer to that one. Another X-user posed the same question, commenting, "Wait, who the hell is this woman though? Because this photo looks like it's from the 90s. Online investigators suspect the woman is Margot Katsmatidis, married to John Katsmatidis, a New York billionaire and associate of Trump. "I think that is Margot Katsmatidis, wife of John, also a New York billionaire," one commented, including a photo of the pair. Is he saying she has a great daughter? Why would he say that? Another user commented under the picture of the Katsmatidises. A further commentator stated they believed that it was indeed what Trump was referring to, sharing a screenshot of a tweet from Andrea Katsmatidis, who has served as chair of the Manhattan GOP since 2017. "I think so. The daughter was/is chair of the Manhattan GOP," that user wrote. Andrea's screenshotted tweet from May 2019 features a picture of her with Donald Trump Jr. and his then girlfriend Kimberly Giuffre. Start that again. "I think so. The daughter was/is chair of the Manhattan GOP," that user wrote. Andrea's screenshotted tweet from May 2019 features a picture of her with Donald Trump Jr. and his then girlfriend Kimberly Giuffre. "Thank you," Donald J. Trump Jr. and Kim Shafoi were coming out last night to support the Manhattan GOP, she captioned the picture. Whether Trump was actually referring to Andrea Katsmetidis in the Truth Social post remains uncertain, as does the true identity of the woman pictured. The comments section beneath the Truth Social post was similarly inundated with users questioning the woman's identity, with no conclusive answers emerging. Oh. Hello, Will.
How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
I got my uniform on. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to pull the shift. Put me in. I'm ready to go.
Good for you. Good for you.
How is everything?
Yeah, everything's okay. I'm just melting in the heat. How about you?
It's hot here, but you know, we're seasoned veterans. You don't have central air?
No. What we have instead, we have fans. We just keep the windows open and keep the fans on full blast.
Because I keep on watching the news, and the one reoccurring theme is that no one has air conditioning over there.
No, we don't. We don't.
Do you get heat waves all the time, or is this just a rare occurrence?
We tend to get heat waves just about every summer now, and they seem to get hotter and hotter every year.
That's what's happening here. We used to be cooler than Arizona, and California is turning into Arizona, where it's just getting unreal hot.
Yeah, I bet.
But when you said it was 86 degrees at night, that's like Nevada is like that. Arizona is like that. So I know how hot that is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think it's the hottest summer we've had since 76, the year I was born.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Now that I am like back into politics, I have a few questions. First of all, why did Suella Braverman dye her hair? It's terrible. It looks bad.
I didn't know she did that.
I saw an interview the other day and I'm like, does she have blonde highlights? Those are blonde highlights.
Maybe she's having a midlife crisis. Who knows?
Hey, I reserve the right to have one, so I won't judge in that aspect. But how many PMs is this?
This is the when Andy Burnham inevitably becomes prime minister.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he'll be the 7th prime minister in 10 years.
Good grief! And you guys used to make fun of Gordon Brown. At least he was stable.
Yeah,
at least he was there.
Yeah. Well, this is it.
It's just crazy to me. It brought me back because I remember watching from Theresa May crying on. And so it brought me back to every resignation. Every time they're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
The curse of Brexit.
Wasn't the 10-year anniversary just the other day?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So can I ask you, and keep in mind, my country's on fire. So in no way in form is this an indictment or is this like, but what has happened in the past years of Brexit? Has anything positive happened?
Actually, the Labour Party have, I think it was, just earlier this year, they've started saying that Brexit has been damaging to the economy.
Yeah.
And I think Wesley, I can't remember, Wes Streeting did say that we should be thinking about moving towards rejoining the EU.
I laughed when I saw that. I still watch like Femi. I still watch Navaria. I just can't say it properly. I still watch certain things, you know.
Mm.
But it makes me want to jump because after all of that, get the deal done. Seriously, I need a clicker. I needed a clicker for how many times said we just need to get the deal done. Get the deal done. You know, and 10 years later, like, can you still fish in your own waters? Because we can, and we don't have right to our own. Like it just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. No.
Because not even in America, we have international. It's different on the Pacific coast, but we have a bunch of agreements with every country that's around us as far as the waters and things like that go. So it's not necessarily our waters, you know, it's everybody's water.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But what did you think of that last story about Donald Trump posting this mysterious woman and saying "great daughter" on Father's Day? What's that about?
Donald Trump has officially jumped the shark on a 3-puppet motorcycle, on a 3-scale puppet motorcycle through a flaming hoop. The man literally said that somebody in a frog suit sabotaged the reflective pool.
Yeah,
We're beyond satire. We're beyond common sense. Like every time he talks, the Benny Hill music starts playing. Like it's insane. Nothing that he has, like, you know, I'm all about having a business and having a product and presenting it to somebody. They say, hey, can you do this? Here it is. He has ripped off every single person he's come across, even his own people.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be talking more about the reflecting pool in a bit.
Okay. I absolutely loved my father, but there was a point where he reached in his 70s, almost 80s, where he went almost senile. You know what I'm saying? Like he couldn't drive anymore. He couldn't, there was just, and I think Donald Trump has reached that point.
Yeah, I mean, my dad had Parkinson's.
My grandfather did.
And towards the end of his life, he had Parkinson's-related dementia.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Lewy body's dementia. And when I see Trump speak, when I see him rambling on, it reminds me of my old man in his final years.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's got long left.
But the problem with Trump is that we don't know. He's pretty much pre-embalmed himself because it's well known he was addicted to Adderall. He was addicted to all these things. That's why he has to wear a diaper, because the more you do drugs, the more incontinent you are later in life.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that no one ever tells you. And so he just has the telltale signs of somebody who has destroyed his body over time.
Yeah. He's messed himself up physically and mentally.
You know what though? Like I think about this all the time. And even if you take it away from Trump, if you had a blank check, how would you act? I had kind of a blank check and I went out and bought a fabric store. But if you were able to do anything you wanted to, like what, you know, financially, literally anything, how would you act?
Well, I think if money was no object, if I had a bottomless purse, I wouldn't be rich for long. I'd open up schools, I'd open up hospitals, buy MRI scanners, CT scanners, all the, I would make sure all the hospitals were equipped with all the latest equipment.
You're making me look bad. I would buy the Bat car and move somewhere far, far, far away, and only come out to fight crime.
I got to admit, I'd do some nice stuff for me and my family as well. I'd buy us a nice house. But
like when you win the lottery, there's this thing called crazy money.
Yeah.
So let's say you won like $20 million. They tell you take $500,000 and go crazy with it, because then you'll realize you're gonna run out of things to buy.
Yeah.
You know, and well, if you're a practical person.
Well, yeah, this is it.
Not everybody necessarily has that sense.
Yeah, I mean, there was one guy who won the lottery who pissed it all up against the wall.
I couldn't. There's not enough. No, there's not enough pubs. There's not enough people in the world to have me spend that much money. Unless I bought the pub and they let me just come in there with the bottomless. Don't worry about William. He owns the place. He comes in with his own mug.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, like, that's why I am truly impressed at people like Donald Trump who can't stop. Like, what are you going to do with all this money? I know this is cliche, but I've never seen a U-Haul behind a Hertz. They don't take your stuff with you.
No.
They don't. When you die, you don't. Your apartment and all the contents. You know, we're not like Lenin. We're not going to get a mausoleum.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I don't understand about Musk.
Oh.
The world's first trillionaire.
He's our first real life Bond villain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He literally is holding like, oh, I will cut off your communication. I will cut off your. He's a real life villain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I personally think we should tax billionaires and trillionaires out of existence.
If it is unreal, and I'm not saying I feel sorry for, like, in America, if you make $1 million, the tax is $1 million. So let's say, well, it's a joke, but it's somewhere near that. So let's say you make $1 million, the government almost takes most of that.
Yeah.
So how come they can't do that to the trillionaires and billionaires?
Well, I don't know. They know all the loopholes, or at the very least, they're accountants. They've got clever accountants who know all the loopholes and know, you know, it's supposed to. I always thought it was supposed to trickle down to the rest of us. Isn't that what Reagan said?
I have a book from the 1920s called Status Seekers. I mean, I have a couple copies of it. It is eerie how they were preaching trickle down right before the fall of the economy, before the great stock market crash.
Yeah.
They were literally talking about the same things. They were living the same way that we are now. And it makes me laugh that no one's ever learned that lesson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, history doesn't exactly repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm stealing that. I like that. I like that. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
There are extreme parallels where you're like, you're not the same, but you guys are quacking. You guys are quacking the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know, so I don't know. The way the world is going right now, like with what happened in Ireland, that was disturbing to me. Yeah. They're going through people's homes, burning down their homes, like, the world is up. Oh, it's going in a scary direction.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And I was just talking, I don't know if you heard this, but I was talking earlier about Andy Burnham, about how, in my opinion, he's just going to be more of the same. I don't think he's learned anything from Keir Starmer.
That is so. I was wondering about that because a lot of people have been saying that. And my question is, what? Well, after seeing Robert Kenyon, I know why they voted for Andy Burnham in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that Makerfield will be a microcosm of what is to come. I think because in what happened in Makerfield was that, even Green Party members and Lib Dem support members got behind Andy Burnham to keep reform out. Because most of us don't want fascism.
You see what's happening here.
Yeah.
You see what's happening here. You elect someone like that, they're going to hijack your system.
Yeah, and I think I hope, and if I believed, I would pray that when it comes to the general election, I hope that people will vote tactically and to keep out the fascists. And
I think there's still enough common sense. When I saw the numbers, his numbers were surprisingly high, but surprisingly low. I thought he would get. For some reason, I didn't think. I thought they would get more vote, but that's my cynicism of living in America right now.
Oh, he smashed it. He beat Reform by 9,000 votes. He won a landslide in Makerfield.
Oh my gosh! And to all of the UK, I've heard every Kenyan joke on earth. Okay, we don't like Robert Kenyon, but I've heard every joke about his last name on earth.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
I started watching Aid Thompson, and he'll like slip in these jokes, and I'm like, that's funny, not funny.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Let's move on.
Awesome.
To the next segment. More Donald Trump.
I came all the way across the pond to get away from him. I was giving you a hard time.
Sorry.
No, he is like, it's at the point now where when the news comes on, we're like, what now? It's not breaking news. It's what now?
Having technical difficulties again.
Wouldn't be the internet if it wasn't.
Oh.
I don't have any of my lights on or anything because of the heat.
All right.
When you said 86 at night, I was like, oh, that's hot.
Yeah.
I'm a desert dweller, and that's even hot to me.
Hang on. It's closed down. Hang on. I'll try to reopen this. Which one is it now? Hang on. Is it going to work? Here we go. Yes, it's opened. Let's see if I can actually share it this time. Right, let's try again. Technology.
Absolutely. We still do it better than like when I watch news officials or like I watch a lot of hockey and baseball. When professionals go home, they don't know what they're doing. So we're way ahead.
Yeah. This story is from the Poke. Donald Trump's cleaning contractor for the disastrous Lincoln Memorial Pool renovation looks almost comically sketchy. 20 criminally funny reactions.
First of all, that is an insult to Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer was one of the greatest managers of all time in WWF.
Yeah. He looks like Paul Bearer on meth.
Yeah, exactly. That's Paul Bearer's little brother.
Why has he got two side partings, for goodness sake?
These guys, because they think they're cool. This is what happens when you have no one to tell you, like, hey, man, you're not cool. This is what happens when no one tells you no throughout your life.
Yeah. He looks like a Batman villain.
He does. He looks like the Riddler. Like him and the Riddler are gonna go plot against Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
There is this weird thing, and I have to say this. We no longer have authenticity in my country. It's about what you can present yourself at, even if you're not that. So these people are projecting, trying to be something they're not because they're in charge in their heads. Because they don't understand democracy.
Exactly.
But I've heard so many references to westerns they've never seen, to gangster movies they've never watched.
Yeah.
You know, there's this weird thing of people cosplaying who they want to be.
Yeah.
Do you know, when I bought this jersey, I didn't think I was going to get put in for a shift. I was like, this jersey is going to tick off all my neighbors. Let's go. Let's go.
The article goes on. Time to check in on one of the funniest and stupidest Donald Trump stories of the week, his disastrous upgrade of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. All week we've been hearing and seeing stories of flourishing algae and peeling blue paint off the surface of the pool.
So I never claimed to be an expert, but have you ever, in Washington, D.C., it is muggy. It is humid. It is, you can't have standing water, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
So if you have standing water, naturally, algae is going to accumulate. Naturally.
Yeah, exactly. Headquarters said this: give $14 million no-bid contract to your friend to paint the pool blue. Pool turns green anyway because algae grows in warm, stagnant water. Pour hydrogen peroxide into the pool to kill the algae. The hydrogen peroxide peels off the blue paint. Clips are going viral of the new $14 million paint on the reflecting pool peeling off just 12 days after the pool reopened.
Do you know what's even worse now is because of his impotence and insecurity, the National Guard is patrolling that's a public body of water that you can walk up and put your hand in. Now it is illegal to touch it.
Yeah.
And those are scary dudes with real firearms standing there telling you it's insane. First they put a fence around it, but I guarantee you that it was probably illegal.
Yeah.
Because he's tired of people shaming him.
Exactly.
Gosh, give you know what? Give 14 mil to both of us, 7 each. You'll never hear from me again. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'll build you a reflecting pool next to the reflecting pool. This is insane. This and the sad thing is, we used to think this was satire. The other night when they had the big fight at the White House, I didn't watch it. I'm almost about to get rid of my Paramount Plus thing, but that's a different issue for a different day. But it felt like the movie Idiocracy.
Yes.
Literally, Travis Pastrana was doing like backflips on his bike over the White House, and I was like, there is something really wrong with this. Is not cool. Like, we're all like, these are 50 and 60-year-old men. Like, you know better, guy. Like, we have reached a point of beyond comical, beyond satire. I don't even know where we are anymore.
The satire writes itself.
Seriously, though.
Yeah. Now, just to add to the comedy of the situation, we get the news that it was a Trump donor who got the contract to install a cleaning system to prevent the kind of problems that sprung up over the last few weeks. Scott McFarlane tweeted this: reflecting pool contract went to a Trump donor. Per Arden Fari, the no-bid contract to install a nanobubble filtration system went to Green Water Solutions, an Ohio-based company whose owner is listed on federal contracting documents as J.J. Cafaro Investment Trust. Green water solutions. You couldn't make it up, could you?
Oh my God. Do you know what the sad thing is? They're so corrupt, they don't even have to hide it.
Yeah, yeah.
He looks like he's going to go play poker on Halloween. I feel like I feel like this is a Halloween picture.
Yeah, it must be. It must be. It's got to, surely. Mo Davis said this. This is Trump donor and Mar-a-Lago neighbor, John Cafaro, who got the non-bid contract to install a water purification system for the reflecting pool. He has 2 prior convictions, one for bribing a member of Congress and another for an illegal loan that violated campaign finance.
Did he? You know what's funny? People used to go to jail for stuff like that, but we don't have laws anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Leaving aside his checkered past, which, as reported by Newsweek, includes bribing a congressman and campaign finance abuse, Cafaro actually looks like just the kind of sketchy businessman you'd see in a cartoon or old-timey gangster movie. Something that has not gone unnoticed online, along with the fact that Cafaro's business that secured the Trump contract is called Green Water Services.
Oh, what a terrible name. The irony is completely lost on these guys, too, because they don't even have the depth to understand.
Yeah.
Like, they don't realize that they're literally... Oh man. If you don't have a motorcycle, don't wear a vest. If you don't play for the Dodgers, don't wear the pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Midas Touch said this. The $1.7 million no-bid contract to clean the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool went to a company ultimately owned by Trump donor John J. Cafaro, who previously pleaded guilty in separate federal cases involving bribery and campaign finance violations. The company's name? Green Water Services.
Grifter Incorporated.
Yeah.
Oh no, is that a real picture?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh no. Okay. Out of love, I actually grew up around men like this. When you're balding, just let it go, brother. We love you. We're here for you. Just let it go. He's balding. That's why he has that terrible rug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Cool jacket though. He's got a cool jacket. Terrible rug.
Yeah. This is from James Tate. This is not The Onion. This is not AI. This is not even Idiocracy.
Oh my
This
God.
is John Cafaro, the guy who got the no-bid contract to redo the defecting pool circulation and filtering system. He's Trump's Florida neighbor, is a Trump donor, and he's been linked to bribery.
He looks like he takes bribes.
He does. He does, yeah.
Oh, he looks like he's in a bad, like, Chicago 1940s gangster movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Jordan said this. Oh, fuck you. There is no way the guy who got the no-bid contract for using bottom shelf Home Depot sealant on the reflecting pool looks like this. Come the fuck on.
But also, we're a long time ago, I heard a comedian say there's too many generations alive right now.
Yeah.
So we are in a multi-generational world right now, and he's just part of a world that literally does not exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Politics Girl said, how much clearer does the criminal enterprise have to be? We're looking at a comic book level character at this point.
It's the cigar. The cigar is the chef's kiss.
Yeah, definitely.
I wonder if he smoked it. Because, like, you know, people just walk around with it to be cool, or they'll chew on it.
Yeah. Derek guy said, I think if you dress like this, you deserve to do a little corruption.
Oh.
Hunter Biden said, you can't make this shit up. And he's quote tweeting Mo Davis, who said, this is Trump donor and Mar-a-Lago neighbor John Cafaro, who got the no-bid contract to install a water purification system for the reflecting pool. And he goes on to say, Hunter Biden that is, the contract, the National Park Service bypassed competitive bidding and awarded a $1.7 million no-bid contract to Ohio-based Green Water, the Daily Beast services, to install the reflecting pool's water purification system. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the PPE contracts.
Oh, good grief. I forgot about those.
Yeah, the Tories all gave to their their cronies back in the day. That's what this reminds me of.
Well, in America, a lot of people went to jail because of those laws. Craziness. It's just the level of corruption. Do you know what it is? Is that we're so desensitized. 20 years ago, this guy wouldn't even have made it through the gates.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we're so used to this corruption. We're just like, again, it's that.
Yeah, exactly. Bloody Exhausted posted, this is my fave pick of not John Candy.
Once again, that's an insult to John Candy.
Yeah. Occupy Democrat says, breaking, the MAGA bozo responsible for Trump's disastrous reflecting pool renovations is exposed, and his company is literally named Green Water Services.
I would change my name.
Yeah, me too, yeah. Nasty Woman said this, if John J. Cafaro doesn't look like a Batman villain, no one does.
He very much has Penguin vibes.
Yeah, definitely.
Very much has Penguin vibes.
He's Penguin on crack. He's Penguin on crack. Tom Nichols said, this time his clever pool trap will kill Batman for sure.
Poor Marshall Cobblepot.
Yeah. Ron Mars.
I was obsessed with the Michael Keaton versions of Batman.
Yeah, me too. Ron Mars said, in an era where everything is ridiculous and insane, John Cafaro's involvement might be the most ridiculous and insane thing so far.
These guys are hilarious. And you know what the funny thing is that they are the minority, but because of money, they have say over everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Michael McKean said, hello, Central Casting. This guy you sent over for the incompetent no-bid pool guy, just 2 on the nose.
This is what happens when you hire your friends. It's obvious, it's cheap, and it's like everybody can see it.
Yeah. Rep Jack Kimball, I refuse to believe that somebody like John Cafaro, who can put together this good a Gomez Adams cosplay, would mess up the reflecting pool. Gordon Bennett.
Gordon, every time you say Gordon Bennett, I just picture Ace. I just picture Ace hitting a Dalek. Every time you say that.
Fuck you, I quit said, I used to think low-level comic book henchmen were just totally fake and unrealistic, but I was so very wrong.
Do you think he gets up in the morning and waxes his mustache?
Probably, yeah. Dicey said, ain't that the Undertaker's dad? Probably.
And you know, I seriously, it's okay to go gray.
Yeah.
I've gone extremely gray. It's okay to age.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's weird when I see people who dye their hair, and it's obvious, brother. It's obvious. It's okay.
Pete Apsland said, is he dressed as Paul Bearer for Halloween in this photo?
I'm telling you. It's Halloween. Up at Mar-a-Lago, it is Halloween.
Tommy Vieta said, this dude is incredible. Need a 6-part Netflix series on him.
Oh, speaking of which, when all of this is over, we are deporting Kid Rock.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of people that we're just gonna put out in the ocean. No country, just we're gonna put them out in the ocean. There you go. You made your choice.
Yeah. Stuzy said, John Cafaro looks like Hugh Hefner after he ate Ted Cruz.
I was wondering where they were going with that Hugh Hefner joke.
Yeah. Joel Montefort said, the guy who painted the fiasco at Mar-a-Lago, he knows something about paints. Look at that dye job.
I'm telling you, it's okay to be gray.
Yeah.
It doesn't look natural. The older you get, like, it doesn't look natural if you have jet black hair or
just go gray gracefully.
Absolutely.
Aaron says, dude tied her to the railroad tracks after this pic was taken.
Snidely Whiplash. He does look like Snidely Whiplash.
Your president paid these people $14 million to fill a cement rectangle full of slime, says Faller Initiative.
If you have not seen that version of Dick Tracy, that's actually an amazing movie.
Yeah.
That's a great version of Dick Tracy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear. But I don't think we've heard the end of this debacle.
The clown car is endless.
Yeah, it's just going to go on and on.
And it when one crony gets fired, they find another.
Yeah, exactly.
So it truly is going to go on and on. That's why right now Donald Trump is campaigning so much against the midterms, because he knows he's gone if people flip the House and the Senate.
Yeah.
He knows. He's gone.
He's gone. But let us know what you guys think in the comments. Okay. Next segment. Let's see if I can... Oh, yes, here we go. Yes, it's working this time. So, this is from the Poke again. Nigel Farage tried to convince BBC Breakfast Sally Nugent that no one cares at all about his 5 million crypto gift as she pushed back until he squirmed. This is hilarious.
Nigel Farage has gone on the offensive of telling people it's not their business when he's being investigated because it is the people's business.
Yes, exactly. You're going to want to sit down to watch this because it's a journalist, BBC Breakfast Sally Nugent, holding Farage's feet to the fire on things he said and done. No, really. She accused him of hypocrisy over his claim that Andy Burnham has no mandate when his own MPs didn't opt to hold by-elections when they jumped from the Tory ship. Okay, now, yes, let's watch a bit of this.
This man is hilarious. I don't think it's playing. I don't think it's playing.
Oh, isn't it? Oh. So,
good old Nige. Nige is insane.
yeah.
He has lost his mind.
Okay, let's try that again.
Have done since 2024 were not in their manifesto. So there's a feeling, there's a disconnect now completely between what we vote for, what we're told we're going to get, and what we do get. And in this case, it'll be a man that comes in from the outside with, and I repeat the point, I don't know what he stands for. He will have no mandate. We need an election.
It's interesting what you said already. You've spoken this morning about a mandate, whether or not Andy Burnham would have a mandate. Do you have a mandate? Do your MPs who defected from the Tories have a mandate when there wasn't a by-election?
Well, they would argue, you know, people like Suella Braverman would argue that the reason they left the last Conservative government was on the same policies they contested the general election on. Therefore, they may have changed parties, but they haven't changed policies. So
that's their argument, though. But the voters haven't been given the chance to make a choice.
Well, do you know what? If you go through history, you know, hardly anybody ever holds a by-election when they change sides. We might want to change the rules on that, but they are as they are. Does Suella Braverman, does Robert Jenrick, do they have a mandate because they were elected on very clear policies? I would argue strongly they do.
But that is hypocrisy. You're saying it's one rule for you and another rule for them.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying
you are.
What I'm saying
exactly what you're
is
saying,
they were elected in 2024 with their own election addresses, their own promises, their own records in government. That is very different.
It's completely different. They were elected for a different party.
To becoming prime minister. That is it's a different magnitude entirely.
Yeah, right.
He is just, he's like a dolphin. He flips so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
His none of your business campaign was impressive.
Yeah.
People were asking him, what'd you do? Like, and the thing that made me angry though, is that he kept on saying none of your business. And then he said his $5 million gift was like winning the lottery.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's nuts. And he's trying to destroy your country. He's doing exactly what Donald Trump did. He's making money and he's telling, you know, while the country's on fire.
Yeah.
While everyone hates each other and he's making money off of it.
BBC Breakfast said, how much of the money have you spent? Reform UK leader Nigel Farage told BBC Breakfast, I've done nothing wrong, when questioned about a £5 million gift from billionaire reform backer Christopher Harborne. And we've got the clip here.
Apart from the media, no one cares. No one cares at all.
The Parliamentary Standards Watchdog care because they are investigating it.
They are. You're right. There's been a complaint received, complaint from the Conservative Party chairman. They're investigating it. We'll see what they say. I'm absolutely convinced I've done nothing wrong in any way at all. I also know that since I was elected as an MP, I've taken zero in personal expenses. I'm very careful and very cautious about these things. I believe it to be a wholly private matter. The Standards Commissioner may take a different view.
You had already given an interview about the possibility of becoming an MP and then you accepted the gift. Is that right?
Yeah. And after that, I said I will not stand in this election. And I was pretty clear when a snap election was called that I wasn't going to do it. I did change my mind subsequently.
You said that £5 million was for lifelong security for you. You've also said it was a gift. Can you just clarify?
No.
What
Let's be clear.
was for?
Let's be clear. It's an unconditional gift. I can spend it on cars if I want to. It's entirely up to me, right? But there is a specific reason for this. I have been physically the most attacked and endangered politician in Britain for now well over a decade.
Oh, let me
stage
shed
during
a
that
tear
time,
for you.
Well, I've asked the state to help and support. Most times they point blank refused. I know, because of the division in politics, that I will need protection until the day that I die.
Do you want to know why?
That is what it's for. And it means, frankly, I can get on with my job and not worry about the long term.
So, Mr. Farage, how much of that money have you spent?
Sorry, go on.
Nige is literally the man who throws a rock in a crowd and wonder why the crowd is chasing him.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Nige. Plausible deniability only works if it's questionable. We know he took the money as a bribe. How come he took the money and then all of a sudden he's running again?
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. And since he took this £5 million from this cryptocurrency billionaire, he's been extolling the virtues of cryptocurrency, funnily enough.
Have you gotten involved in that cryptocurrency stuff?
No, not me.
Every person I've ever come across that is just a scammer.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I think as well.
Oh, nice.
Look, it's literally none of your business. If I've given it to charity, but the truth is, I haven't. I know what it's
You
there
haven't
for.
spent any of it.
It's none of your business. It's literally none of your. How much of your salary do you spend on
Public
beer,
record,
on petrol? It's none of your business.
I think it is our business. You want to become prime minister. I think it's everyone's business.
Didn't the king even show his tax information?
Yeah, he did.
Nige is a liar. If the king's showing his tax information, then you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
I think it is the public's business to know.
No, it's not the public's business.
Well, it's being investigated by the Parliamentary Standards Committee, so it's somebody's
let
business.
them
You're saying you need
investigate it.
security, a legitimate point.
Yeah.
How much of that money have you spent on security so far?
I'm sorry. I know I'm not going to answer that deliberately, willfully.
Do you wish that you had declared this money at the time?
It is not your business at the BBC to put me in danger. Therefore, I will not answer that.
I would just like to clarify. Do not make any mistake. We are not putting you in any danger at all.
If I answer that question you asked, so I won't.
So, but you have already said that you haven't spent it.
So he's admitting that he got money from bookies.
Yeah. he always gets really touchy when he's shown the slightest bit of scrutiny. He always gets touchy when he's shown scrutiny, especially if it's a woman. Have you noticed?
Of course, because this is the same man that he wanted everyone to respond with cold rage. Yeah. And then try to explain it away after people were running around fighting the cops.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you wish you declared it at the time?
No.
You know this is going to keep coming up again and again and again.
That's it. And look, you can obsess about it, all right? That's fine. I spent, goodness knows, scores of hours in Makerfield, out talking to people, out knocking on doors, meeting people of all political opinions, and only one person raised it with me. So, if you want to go on about it for the next 3 years, you go on about it.
I don't believe that.
I'm going to get on with my job.
Yeah.
This is the same man who goes and stands at the ocean and yells at it.
Yeah.
Stop the boats! Stop the boats!
Yeah, exactly.
I've learned to have utter and complete disdain for Nigel Farage. He just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, me too.
And he's seeing what's working here, and he's trying to apply it to your country. Every time I hear someone in the UK say woke, I'm like, you guys are drinking the Kool-Aid. You didn't even say that word 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Isabel Oakenshit said, Farage squirming on BBC Breakfast. At last he's getting a good grilling about the £5 million and is losing it. Don McGowan said, if you have a spare 3 minutes and 45 seconds today, watch this fantastic grilling by Sally Nugent on BBC Breakfast. The very first time I've seen Farage question properly about this £5 million bum, and it's fair to say he totally fluffed it.
Plugging your ears and saying la 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 doesn't work.
No, no, it doesn't. Mike H. said, Nigel Farage has an absolute car crash on BBC Breakfast in an interview which he says nobody cares about his £5 million gift, tries to deflect by comparing what Sally Nugent spends on her wages on and how she earns, and accuses the BBC of putting him in danger. Rockaway, go on.
Really quickly, what danger is he talking about besides going to jail when the truth comes out?
Having milkshake thrown at him, I suppose.
You should be happy that people are throwing milkshakes at you. In my country, they throw way worse things at you.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
You should be. I would be like, I saw this thing where it was an old Sarah MacLeod episode, but she was interviewing this guy from the BBC, and someone threw fish and chips at him. I would have went like this. I would have opened my mouth, be like, I hope it comes with sauce.
Yeah, yeah. Rockaway, hashtag defends the BBC, said, hats off to Sally Nugent. We need more of this from the BBC. Farage totally exposed and squirming like a weasel. He's got away with it for far too long. Yeah, exactly. Planet Belfast said Farage became increasingly rude, patronising and visibly twitchy when Sally Nugent pressed him on his £5 million bun from billionaire donor Christopher Harborne. If he can't handle scrutiny on BBC Breakfast, how can he expect to be taken seriously as a prospective Prime Minister? Yeah, good question.
When he's going to be in charge of all of the money.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is it. Larry the Cat said, Nigel Farage condescendingly asserts that nobody cares that he was given £5 million by an overseas crypto billionaire. As with so much, he is wrong. I think people do care. Kate Cronin said, thought this was a great interview by Sally Nugent. Farage tried Nobody Cares, and when that didn't work, he switched to ad hominem, oh well, what about your salary? If nobody cares, why has he avoided being interviewed about it for so many weeks?
It's one of those things, why are you reacting so strongly also?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an extremely passionate person, and if I have an opinion, you're going to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he doesn't, he's telling people to mind their own business when this man habitually gets in everyone else's business.
Yeah, exactly. Long-suffering cat said, just witnessed Sally Nugent holding Farage to account on BBC Breakfast. The little weasel does not like scrutiny, really showed his true colours. If only the media had done this historically instead of the usual tummy tickle interviews. Planet Belfast said, that was fantastic. Haven't seen her Farage that rattled in quite a while. No wonder he's been in hiding. Well done, Sally Nugent. And finally, Johnny Aneurysm said, surprisingly, Sally Nugent is actually grilling Farage on the £5 million on BBC Breakfast. He's not happy. And We can only hope that this is the start of a new era when the mainstream media hold Farage to account and give him proper scrutiny. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I think we've seen what happens if you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
He just speaks to he's not as bad as Tommy Robinson, but he's like just Tommy Robinson in a suit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think we've got 2 more stories.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm going to show you a video of Katie Hopkins getting thrown out of a pub.
I need this in my life. I need this in my day. You have no idea. When I saw this, I was like, oh, maybe there is a chance for humanity. She is a human skid mark.
Yeah. Oh, he did not like that at all.
This last move is classic right here. And left-handed. I'm actually impressed she did that left-handed.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a question. Is that considered assault?
Probably.
Because where I'm from, if you did that to somebody in front of a cop, they would arrest you.
Yeah, they probably would here as well.
But Katie Hopkins, your rule number 1 is you don't hit people.
Katie Hopkins kicked out of East London pub during England match. This is from The Metro by Brooke Ivy Johnson. Katie Hopkins was dramatically ejected from an East London pub during England's World Cup clash with Croatia after a heated confrontation with fellow football fans. The controversial media personality reportedly found herself at the centre of an angry standoff while watching England's opening tournament fixture at the Dundee Arms in Bethnal Green on Wednesday evening. Video footage obtained by Celestial Story appears to show tensions boiling over inside the packed pub as a man instructs Hopkins to leave. The former apprentice contestant can then be heard telling him to fuck off before appearing to lunge towards another man in the crowd. There's a still from the
classy
footage.
How tall do you think she is?
I don't know.
She looks really tall there.
She does, actually. The footage appears to show her then shoving a man believed to be the pub's landlord before heading towards the exit. As she leaves, cheers erupt from inside the venue. The confrontation continues outside, with Hopkins seemingly pushing away phones as bystanders attempt to film her departure. One witness told My London, I think she was kicked out because of her racism and general views. The vibe of the pub was that people didn't want her there. I was surprised she was served at all.
I thought Pauline Hanson was the most hated person on earth, and then I met Katie Hopkins.
Yeah.
Good grief. She has spent the past decade, 20 years being a serial contrarian, saying everything everyone doesn't want to hear.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to get kicked out of a
Yeah.
This made me laugh so hard because she invested all of her time in hatred, and this is what she gets.
Yeah, exactly. The incident is the latest controversy involving Hopkins, who has built a career around provocative opinions and inflammatory public statements.
She's got me heated a few times over the years.
Yeah.
She's not as bad as Douglas Murray, but she's got me heated.
Yeah, me too, and a lot of other people. It seems. I wish I could have been in that pub when that happened. To be honest, I'd have loved to have seen that.
Me too.
Yeah, but I'm glad we got it on video.
I'm trying to think if there's an equivalent of something like that around here. Well, actually, a while ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz came to Santa Monica, California, and they needed basically the entire police force.
Wow.
Like 100 people showed up as supporters. I think it was like 2,000 or 3,000 people showed up to protest.
Oh dear. But yeah, Katie Hopkins getting thrown out of a pub there. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments.
I think your country is making a turn in the right direction.
Here's hoping.
But even with Makersfield, even with this, it's showing that people do not want fascism.
Yeah,
and I think that's the whole point they're trying to drive home.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and
people have figured out the grift.
Yeah.
People have figured out, like Nige, if you go out there and you say, if you target the disenfranchised, the people who do not feel connected to the government, you're gonna have an army of people.
Yeah.
And they'll give you their money.
Yeah. Do you have Lidl supermarkets in the US?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay, you may like this final story then. This is quite interesting.
Let me open up the door really quick. Give me one quick second. Whoa. That was a disaster.
You okay?
Yeah, I kicked over a few things.
Okay.
All right. Oh.
This is from the. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
This is from the Independent. Lidl opens first ever pub, the Middle Ale, in milestone moment for supermarket chain. The move is a strategic maneuver to navigate Northern Ireland's strict alcohol licensing laws. Supermarket chain Lidl has unveiled its first pub, a strategic maneuver to navigate Northern Ireland's notoriously strict and complex alcohol licensing laws. Named the Middle Ale, the new bar and off-license is adjacent to an existing Lidl store in Dundonald near Belfast. A tight regulatory environment governs liquor licenses in the region. Permits are not easily obtained. They typically require purchase from businesses that are either closing or no longer intend to sell alcohol. What do you think about this?
So, Northern Ireland has extremely strict laws.
Yeah.
So this company was like, because of their name and their brand, they're opening up a pub. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. It sounds a bit dystopian, though, to me.
What's happening, though, is that these companies know that they have say and no one can stop them. So between licensing and just wording it properly, they can do anything they want.
Yeah.
Like Taco Bell opened up a store in Vegas and it had alcohol, and it was strange to us because Taco Bell is just a crummy fast food place,
Yeah.
I think it's I agree with you that it's dystopian, but we are in the era of where corporations rule the world.
Yeah.
So they're going to do anything to try to relate to us. It goes back to what I was saying about cosplaying. They'll pretend to be us. They'll pretend, oh, I'm a blue collar guy just like you and yada yada, you know.
Yeah.
When they drove up in their Bentley.
Yeah. Unable to prove a shortage of off licenses, and Dundonald Lidl pivoted its strategy. The retailer instead applied for a pub license, successfully arguing that there was an insufficient number of bars to serve the local community. And there's a photo of the pub there.
Starbucks has tried this, and so has I can't remember. They've tried this in America and it's failed. They try to, like, corporations try to open up bars or just serve alcohol in general.
Yeah, but in my opinion, that is not a pub. That is not a proper pub, is it?
Again, corporations are heartless. They're literally dictating from an office. These guys have probably never been in a pub, or if they have, they went with their parents when they were a kid.
But yeah, exactly. That is what my brother would call a Pinot, but pub in name only.
I've always wondered about that, because here in America we have these really corporate pubs, but I've been to the UK. There's no heart in it. When you go in there, people are just sitting there sad. They're not boisterous. So it's not necessarily a pub. It's just a place to go and drink.
Yeah. I mean, that does not look welcoming at all.
It reminds me, that looks like a shop.
Yeah, it
looks
does.
like you're going to buy a pack of cigarettes or something.
Yeah. It looks horrible. It looks horrible. It just looks, like exactly what it is, a Lidl branded pub.
When I lived up north, they had a law where every store had to incorporate itself into the city.
Yeah.
They at least had to try to not look like a terrible corporation.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But see, here's the problem. This is what happens when you take away the personal touch. Like in my country, Walmart destroyed the old tire shops, the handyman shops, the places where we no longer have hardware stores like we used to.
Right.
So in that aspect, it's going to destroy the culture.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. After a protracted process, which involved seeing off a legal challenge in court, the chain succeeded in securing a license to sell alcohol in a pub with an attractive off-sale section. The 60-seat pub's middle ale is a nod to Lidl's famous middle aisle of counted supermarket items. It is accessed through a separate entrance to the retail store, and its opening has created 8 new jobs.
Did you say 8?
Yes. Robert Barr, 81, from East Belfast, said the pub is fine. It's another pub in the area, he said. I had a 0 Guinness. And it just looks, really corporate and really, bland and uninviting. It's not it doesn't look like your local pub, does it? Let's face it.
Where I'm from, there's a lot of Mexican restaurants and Chinese restaurants. If there is not a dusty picture up on the wall, I will not eat there. If there is not a faded picture that has been there for 40 years, like there's etiquette to going to places that you love.
Yeah, exactly. Asked about the atmosphere, he said, it's hard to say because it's opening day and there's a lot of staff and hierarchy there. It will be interesting to see what it's like on a normal day. I was always annoyed that they didn't have an off license here, and apparently it's down to objections from the other establishments, which I didn't think was very fair. So I'm glad now that they have an off license here. Newly appointed bar manager Samantha Hill officially cut the ribbon to mark the occasion on Thursday.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Utter and complete craziness. Would you go to that place?
No. No, not at all. I'm hoping this is just a one-off, because they wanted to get around the strict laws in Northern Ireland.
Mhm.
But it wouldn't surprise me if they started opening pubs all over the United Kingdom.
Certain states have places like that here. Like in Oregon, you can't buy, you can only buy booze in specific stores. In my state, you can buy alcohol anywhere, even at gas stations.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere.
Yeah. But let us know what you think of the Lidl pub in the comments. Okay. And that just about wraps things up.
Awesome. Awesome.
So yeah, thanks for dropping in. I appreciate it.
I missed hanging out with you. It's I absolutely love talking about UK politics. So I am here for the mess.
Good. Excellent.
I stayed away for a while because UK politics, you guys turned into us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now you're slowly drifting back to your your old ways.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, if you've made it this far, then do subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Okay. Let's end the stream.